started. My bad.
No,
My bad. You said You oh goodness. I already started the broadcast, yo.
Let's get ready to rumble.
Houston, we have a problem.
Yes! What you gonna do? 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 What you gonna do?
Oh yeah.
Yo, I still get pumped every time I hear that music. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to this episode of the Wrestling Wrealm Now Podcast. It is live. We are hyped. We are fresh off of Blerdcon, fresh off of so much content coming on our YouTube channels. We'll get into that. But first and foremost, I'm Brian H. Waters. To the right or the left is the real Dwayne Allen. And of course, sliding in home. Did the Orioles win today?
Oh, they're about to win.
Oh, yes, sir. Over 500.
One
baby.
game over 500.
Over 500.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Woo! We got Brother Hugh in the building. I got my orange on. Hugh got that Orioles hat on.
Yes, sir.
The realness got a Yankee hat on.
Hey, don't mind me. Is it hot? Is it hot in here?
It's all good. It's all good, you know. But yeah, let's get it. Let's get it. Man, look, I got my coffee. I've been drinking a lot of water, you know. I'm feeling good. You said ball game?
No, I said water.
Well, yeah, definitely a lot of
bro,
water.
Mhm.
This y'all asked me questions.
Got
Y'all
you right
said,
here.
Brian H., how do you lose so much weight? What do you do? I tell y'all, I surround myself with good people who like to be fit. You look at the real Dwayne Allen. You look at Brother Hugh. They look at the show it to him. Show him the guns. Don't hurt him now. Don't hurt him now. But yeah, my brother in the building. Yeah. So first and foremost, how y'all feeling?
Mm-hmm.
I'm feeling pretty good, brother. I'm miserable because I'm eating like a bird again. I'm eating all rabbit food because Brian is talking about media photo shoots and stuff we got coming up. So I'm like, oh shoot, let me start getting myself together.
I know, right?
Had a bowl of celery today. A bowl of celery, for goodness sake. I'm too big for that. But you gotta do what you gotta do, man.
Hey, guess what? It's National Fries Day. You know what I had?
And you messed up.
National fries.
I had McDonald's.
Ooh, okay.
I had
Out of all the fries, you could have got
Right,
on
like-
National Friday. You went to like Arnold's.
because throughout these process, right?
Go ahead.
Every time I do eat fries, it's not from McDonald's. It's either like Royal Farms or Carry Out or Chicken Spot. But I was craving some McDonald's fries. And you know what the sad part is? They was burnt. You know how like you go there, you got 3 levels of McDonald's fries, right? You got the no salt, and you be just chasing that taste the whole time. You got the perfect where it's nice and hot, right amount of salt,
crunchy, yeah.
fresh out of the grease. Then you got the ones that you know they a little hot, but they sat a little bit too long. That's the ones I had. So that was disappointing.
Somewhat salty.
Bingo. Shout out to Blue Magic Grind in the comments. We can put him over real quick. The owner of For Your Wear, where you can get a Breaking Through Glass t-shirt, Breaking Through the Glass Ceilings t-shirt. Shout out to him. Shout out to Banks. Me and Banks was texting earlier. He keep telling me about AEW. This brother, I ain't gonna put the whole thing, but he went through a whole rant on everybody who on the fun side. Him and Keeks they've been eating that AEW juice. And I know Blue probably gonna jump in it too. But he's like, come on, brother, we got Christian Cages. We got this one. We got that one. I'm like, bro, I'm good, you know. But shout out to the good people, man. Good people watching the Wrestling Wrealm Now Podcast tonight. Brother Hugh, how you feel?
Yes, sir. I'm good, man. I'm good. The Orioles went. Hold on. They ain't win yet, but we about to get to 10. And we're the hottest team in baseball right now, baby.
You know, last time we was there, we had Sammy Sosa.
I know, right? You know what I mean? A black Sammy Sosa. Oh my gosh.
When you were still black, you were still a colored man.
Awesome weekend at Blerdcon. I even did some shooting in Ohio. So yeah, I'm good, man.
Yeah, you been on the road, brother.
Yes, sir.
I dropped this brother off. It's like 2-something in the morning, right? More on that later. And then I look, and he goes, he's like, yeah, bro, I'm about to, get on the road. I'm like, bro, I know I've been driving, but you wasn't asleep. We was talking. We was recapping the trip. Like, but thankfully, we said the prayers, and he went out there. He took care of business, and I know he delivered. I ain't see the pictures yet, but I already know they good.
Not yet. But yeah. They're great. They're great. I had a great time out there.
Blue says AEW is the place to be. Psych, no, support the wrestlers, not the billionaires. Yeah, definitely support the wrestlers.
That's actually a great message.
It is.
Yeah, support the wrestlers. Y'all out there, tweet us at Wrestling Wrealm, share the broadcast, share it live. We live. Yeah, you want to jump right into Blerdcon?
Blerdcon, let's do it.
Please do. I need a recap.
Huh?
I said, please do. I need a recap, man.
Yeah,
because I was going to ask you guys, but I know we got that itinerary. I'm trying to fall in line tonight.
Well, let me tell you. First of all, Brother Hugh.
There you go. Early.
Another shout out. Another shout out to him, because you can have great moments wherever you go, but when you have a dope photographer capturing those moments, it allows you. The realness. We talked about this when we first met. It freezes time. It allows you to go back and like relive a lot of this stuff, and to see Brother Hugh's growth. I'm always gonna put him over. That's my brother, to see his growth in photography, dare I say it, one of the best in the world. And we went out there, night one, it was like WrestleMania, right? So night one, being there with Britt Waters, shout out to nephew Corey, brother Corey, my kicks are my fix, and brother Fam from Black Wrestling. We was all hanging out. Obviously, the pioneer, the legend, the big brother, Dr. D, putting everything in motion, making this happen, introducing us to like the owners of Blerdcon and stuff. And I did Black Wrestling. Shout out to Fam. People had a recap. I said my favorite moment was the hanging out. Like the panels and stuff was cool. But this year, see, the first year we went, it was just kind of like, all right, let's go there and take care of business, right? Went around to see the scenery. Took some pictures and stuff. That was cool. The second year I went, I was like kind of like same thing. Got some photos, got some interviews out. Last year, same thing. This year I was like, you know what? I'm gonna enjoy myself. Shout out to those wrestling girls jumping in.
They in the building.
I thought you was gonna say your line that you always say.
What's
It's a
line?
party.
Oh yeah, it's a party now.
but so I went there this year, and night one I took the kids, so I want to make sure that they could get the experience, and they have fun. But I saw Brother Hugh, and he can elaborate because they went to the dance floor. I was being a responsible father, playing like old school Mario with the kids, so that was a lot of fun. But Brother Hugh,
yes,
talk about night one at the dance floor. Apparently we missed the second one after the other panel.
Oh yeah, I know, right? The good old panel, the great panel. But no. Well, of course, me. I'm just meandering around, chilling, being the cool guy that I am. And
because he is a cool guy, ladies and gentlemen.
Facts.
See the DJ playing a little music, got the little reggae going, and the next thing you know, he dropped some Baltimore club. I said, "Oh my god!"
Oh, why couldn't he?
Oh my gosh!
He must have knew you was in the building. That's what it was.
Yes, sir. And I had the pink shoes on, so I was like, "Hold on." Nobody was dancing. Jumped on the middle of the floor, did my thing. Next thing you know, everybody else coming in. I said, "Yes, we got it started. Let's go." Footage for days. Right, Dwayne?
Wow.
Yeah,
man,
for days, man.
It doesn't get any better than that. That's one thing I was disappointed because I couldn't be there this year. Like one thing the Riz is going to do is he going to dance.
Yep.
If you don't know me by now, one thing I'm gonna do is if I hear the right song, I'm finna cut a rug. It's going down. So I saw the footage. I was like, God, that was my chance to dance.
It sure was, man. They missed out.
I don't mean to interject, but I don't know what the heck Brian H is talking about because year one that I was able to go, we met Aisha from Power Rangers. We met
it was the first time I see. It was a blur.
That wasn't no blur for me. I met Karen Ashley, and I was like,
that was the first time I ever seen the real
Are you
Dwayne
serious?
Allen.
I was like,
yeah.
oh, I know exactly who you are. You're Aisha, Karen Ashley. How are
She was
you?
great. Leave.
Bro, she was going to her panel. We saw him in a little hangout spot.
It was
Blerdcon,
like right time.
it was like Blerdcon has one of the best like hangout spots to like to just kick it as far as the just the community just intermingling and moving around. So I think that was the biggest part that I felt like I missed just being there. I haven't been there since the first one, but I was like, man, like when you look at the setup, where the video games are set up, this time they had a DJ booth in the middle of it. It was just like that's my type of atmosphere. Like I can relax in that space. You know what I mean? You can just chill, you can hang out, you can cut a rug, you can play some games, you can, you know what I mean? Just
You and this rug.
I cuts the rug. Anybody knows me, I'm gonna dance.
He does.
But yeah, man, that was like it looked like it was even. It's just growing and growing and growing. What was your take on it, Brian?
It was fun, man.
From when the first time when we went to, just you've been there every since. So
Yeah. Oh, most definitely. It's definitely growing. You're seeing more people flood there. People from all over the place. Somebody was from Houston, and just to see that, you can see just people feel comfortable.
yeah.
Feeling comfortable being themselves. Like, of course, you're gonna have like, some ladies was just in there in drawers, and they felt comfortable.
That's the culture of cosplay, though. That's what it's turned into.
And but what I like is you don't necessarily have to be in comics to enjoy Blerdcon, because you see people dress up as all different types of black characters or characters in general. We saw somebody dressed like the dude from Pootie Tang. He had that fur coat. Like, bro, I know you hot.
He had Stink Meaner.
Yeah, yep. Good burger.
So
that's always the fun part. You're starting to see every year. It seems like I see more and more other costumes, not just your traditional like stuff you see at Comic Cons and stuff. And like when I would see like people coming like whatever, I guess it's Comic Con. I don't know what they call it in Baltimore, but I would see people downtown walking, and you see somebody dressed up in Incredibles.
Baltimore Comic Con.
Yeah. So, but you see those traditionals. You know what I mean? At Blerdcon, you see like so many people. People dressed like Martin or Will Smith or stuff like. So that was the thing that I really enjoyed. You obviously see a lot of people dressed as wrestlers, and we walking around with the belts, like, hey champ, so that's always a thing. We did talk about this on the video, me, Corey, and Britt next year. I think we're gonna go as DX. So I
was hoping it was gonna be the New Day.
But we'll figure it out. You rooting for the New Day, I see.
I'm rooting for the New Day.
So that would be interesting. But yeah, they brought it up. I was like, you know what? Let's do it. So we'll see.
I saw somebody dressed as Randy Watson, Jackson Heights.
Oh yeah.
I was like, oh yeah, that's just like I was on maybe I guess Twitter, just looking for footage all like this the whole time, just trying to see what I can catch. Just to be
made your other plans.
Yeah, like I was mad because I like when I say I had to. I was setting the schedule for TRDA for the going into fall and winter. Yeah, and I was putting the artboards together, and I was like, man, I'm gonna start hitting the road and trying to figure out this theme that I'm gonna be doing this classic varsity vintage look. So as I started to put that together and try to figure that out going forward, and they're like, hey, maybe we can figure out a way to get you. I was like, what?
Yeah, bro.
Time out. Sorry. Yep. I was like, what? And they was like, no, we could probably figure it out. I was like, no, wait. Like, yo, I was already blown. I was already blown, even with the stuff that I should have read in the first place. About the.
I done told you about reading. You made fun of me on that one video,
and brother,
reading books.
And if we could play that clip right now, I will play it right now, because you are absolutely right, and I still have not learned my lesson yet. Like I still don't read like I need to. Like, bro, read the words. Like, so, but it's. I mean, I'm happy to see how much it is growing. One of the best parts about Blerdcon that I enjoy the most is seeing so many black renditions of a lot of famous comic book characters and superheroes and stuff like that. That's always fun. And then like you see all the like tongue-in-cheek jokes and memes and videos that people put together based off the cosplay. So I really enjoy that a lot.
Yeah. And then night 2, man, Doc went in the archives, bro. Night 2 was really like celebrating. Like night 1 was like, your normal panel talking.
Hold on,
about.
time out. Here's what threw me off. My fault. I didn't mean to cut you off real quick.
Go ahead.
I did not realize it was a 2-night panel. I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
I said the panel's on Friday night. I thought it was on
Saturday.
Friday. Saturday. Okay. And then I was like, wait a minute. It was on Friday. But then I was like, oh, they did a 2-night panel, and I was like,
yeah, he did a 2-night panel last year. It's just that I couldn't make it. But this year I was like, yeah, book me, coach. And night 2, he was like really just taking time to celebrate. I mean, they brought Blizz out. When the last time we seen Blizz come out? And Larry Legend, Janelle from HR, shout out to the Job of Tears, and then Amber Rodriguez. So all of them, and me, Corey, and Fam. So he's just showing like footage, and then I forgot that Doc has shot his first interview with Amber was at ACW in 2013, and so of course everybody wanted to make fun of my remember the orange Argyle sweater I used to have at Morgan.
Was that the Mean Street Posse thing?
Yeah. I was on mute for a second. Let me tell you about Brian Nace and his goddamn sweaters. Brian Nace would look like he was 50. Brian Nace would be 31 years old, looking like he was 55. I said, bro, I appreciate your maturity and where you are in life, but you don't gotta wear those sweaters like that. And he was proud to wear them. Like he would wear those on shoots in jeans, photo shoots. If you look at the intro, if you pay close attention, he's got that orange Argyle or brown.
No, that's the brown one.
Okay, it's the brown sweater. When we said, yo, dress in something so we can do this shoot, we had no merch. This was maybe, when did we do that intro? This was like year what?
2013. It was at Morgan.
That was the year we did the big one, the new one, the new footage.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it was, and he came in with that sweater on. And some
jeans.
What?
I'm gonna find it because that was a classic. I'm gonna put it on the screen.
I had the photos. It's in my hard drive.
The Argyle sweater. I know it's on Facebook somewhere. Because Blake actually shot me in it when he was doing Adam Cole's photo shoot.
He did.
Yep. And so, but yeah, so Doc pulls that out, right? And he's doing this photo of he's showing Amber's first interview, and then Janelle goes like, "Dang, Brian, you in this too?" Because I like interrupted messing with him, and then I did the same thing for Blake. Well, he interviewed Blake, and what was so funny was seeing how much me and Blake have transformed. And shout out to him, he gave me a shout out for losing weight, which a lot of people don't know. Like I watched this brother transform, and I was like, "Well, he do it, I can do it."
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, I mean, and it was a fun moment, and he showed like a black wrestling clip, and he's like, all right, we gotta cut this part off. He called Marvin Math, which I gotta explain the story about that off the air. But then obviously showing the Jobberteers first show, so Doc was like really putting over the podcasters, and what we did, we turned it and flipped it on him. Because like, bro, you ain't gonna sit up here and give us our flowers, and we ain't gonna give you your flowers. Like none of us would be right here, bro. And so I really appreciate that. And then the party started. The party was the party started. We went to went out to dinner, and got to talk to Brother Fam about the BRP 50. Got to talk to Amber about a lot of the stuff that she was doing, and it was just those vibes, just everybody just coming together, coming back, hanging out, and really just sitting there. Like I said, seeing like the wrestler fans, the whole DMV clique came, and it was a lot of wrestler fans that I just hadn't seen in a while too. That was out there, so it was a lot of fun, man.
Oh yeah, I'm still good and perturbed that I missed it, but everything happens for a reason, so it's okay. But you guys, you brothers did an excellent job holding it down, man, and just as always, it's nothing new, just making your presence known and always just kind of being the standard bearers for what we represent and what we want to do. So man, I definitely appreciate you guys.
And I guess I'll say this: I did something I never do. Never.
What was that?
Wait, hold on. Let me think about what's something he never did.
Dude,
I'm saying it's past tense though, right?
Well, yeah, you're right. Blake and Amber. Oh, my bad. You still trying to think about it?
No, go ahead. Because I can't come up with anything, so I'm just gonna ponder on it while you go ahead and just let it out. Go ahead.
Blake and Amber decided to throw me a dare, and I don't like being dared. And as long as it doesn't do any harm to anybody,
sure,
I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. Oh, here it is. I'm gonna share my screen real quick. It says people want to see.
Here we go.
The I'm gonna have to move stuff around.
Is this what I think this is? Something that has to do with
the Argyle sweater.
Man, that's the graduation photo.
There it is, yo. There it is, folks. The Argyle sweater. That's what I had on in that.
Hold on. He had the matching fitted too, bro.
First of all, that Mets fitted was fresh. That
was, but golly, bro.
Hey, do you have the Bluetooth in your ear?
No, wait.
Hey,
yes, you
do. He do.
You have the signature Bluetooth in your ear on the other side because that's not your earlobe. Your ears are not that big.
Dang, man, why you ain't tell me to take the Bluetooth out?
Nah,
this man used to stay with a Bluetooth on him.
That was his signature. Like you didn't see Brian without a Bluetooth. He went through like 10 of them things.
That was important, yo.
Hey, look. Yes, you were.
You ever see?
Wow, that took me back. That's the graduation photos.
Yeah. No, the
because you took all those in the same day, didn't you? You took that one, then you took the ones in the cap and gown for your mama.
That might have yeah, you're right.
Because I remember you did multiple outfits for that photo shoot. I don't know, but that's the way I remember it. I could be wrong.
No, because this was taken in March.
Okay.
So this was during. Yeah, this had to been Adam Cole's photo shoot was the graduation photo shoot. So this had to been. It was just a test shot. That's because I could tell the way I ain't have a shape up. So it was a test shot, but it might have been for Black G's. That's what it was. It was for Black G's.
I could tell the test shot because you still got your Bluetooth in your ear.
Bingo, yeah, that's what it was.
my man looked like a black Joey Abs with short hair.
This is a Mean Street Posse.
Yo, first of all, what he's not saying is that nobody wore more Argyle sweaters and sweater vests than Hugh in middle school.
Hey,
that's middle school though. You was grown when you took those pictures.
You ain't supposed to be. Look at you. Jumping on his side.
My fault. I should have stayed out of it. I was just.
Here you go. See, just because I ain't 6 feet don't mean y'all got to jump and gang on me all the time. Sheesh, I was just telling somebody this. Matter of fact, you know what it was? Because earlier today, Queen PR had her show, Queen PR and Friends, right? So Krista told me I'm invited to the Thirsty Thursday. Queen PR was like, I ain't say you was. I said you did. You told me I couldn't come, and I'm saying this because she's probably in the chat still. She said I couldn't come. Y'all said, and she was like, I said just because y'all want the tall dudes, so y'all can have the tall dudes, but Krista said no, I can come. But I'm gonna let y'all handle.
Why was he holding up? Why was he holding the mic like Xavier Woods?
I swear, Brian is in his first. Last week it was Bobby Brown. Today's Xavier Woods.
Because I was making sure this thing has been rotating. That's why.
See how he commands the mic. Last week he was Bobby. They say I'm crazy.
Right.
This
week
he's
Sandow.
David Sandow.
Yeah, but that was funny. But yeah, they dared me, so I had to sing Real American. I never do karaoke, and I did it.
I saw that. I enjoyed it. I said, "Oh, this is a twist for Brian H."
So funny part was when I said I was gonna do Hogan's theme music. You know, I got booed.
Yep.
Oh yeah, of
Big
course.
time.
Come on, like, first of all, we're at Blerdcon. A black man singing.
And I told him, I said, all right, y'all can boo me. I don't care. And then afterwards, Hugh and Brother Fam told me that within 2 bars, I had the whole room rocking with me.
Yeah, bro.
So
the energy, man. He brought the energy, bro.
They couldn't fight the fever.
And shout out to Corey because Corey definitely there she go again. I didn't say you couldn't come. It's time for the Real Dwayne Allen and the Real Dwayne and the other one.
Brother Hugh, do you have a rebuttal?
I'm not gonna
reserve your statement for the time. Time is right. There you go.
I plead the fifth, man. I'm not gonna feed into the foolishness.
Do the right thing for public relations purposes.
Absolutely. This is business time right now. I'll deal with you later.
Uh-oh. and shout out to Corey. He killed it with the Shawn Michaels. He killed it.
I saw that one and I said, "Yep, he chose the right one." It's only fitting. I would have acted a fool.
I mean, he had the whole outfit on, WrestleMania 12 outfit too.
It only fit.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember when we were where were we at? We were in might have been DC for a house show.
Yeah.
No, was it a house show? And Shawn Michaels' music played. It was at the end of the night. I don't know what he was doing there. And I think
if it was DC, was that show that my sister's ex-boyfriend was at?
Yes, I think Cadbury was there. Frankenberry was with us.
You know, she fussed him out that night because he made us late.
I remember because he came to the car like, bro, I'm hungry, man. I Brian, I ain't eat today. Please, like I just ordered a chicken cheesesteak from I'm about to die. And I was sitting there like, don't we gotta get on the road? Because didn't your nephew come with us?
Nah, it was the three of us and him, right?
Nah, it wasn't that.
No, okay, because the only time like my nephew went to those was in Baltimore.
Was it?
Oh, unless you're thinking about the Raw that we went to that was in DC.
It had to been that one.
When that was the time you was fighting with the dude about the seat.
Yes.
Blake.
Yeah.
He's like, no, that's my seat.
Yeah. It was that one. Because I remember end of the night, I was like, I don't know why Shawn Michaels music came on, but it was loud. And I got up, and can you imagine what I did? I cut a rug. and Brian H recorded it. And he was like, turn down for what? That's when everybody just started saying turn down for what all of a sudden.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, what does that mean? But it doesn't matter. You know why? Because HBK's music hit, and I decided to cut a rug. There's one thing I'm going to do. I'm going to dance.
And then they did the same thing Saturday night, man. Saturday night was lit, You saw people out there, and it got a little wild. I was like, all right, it's time to go. The only thing, like, when you do things in the same night, you think about the drive. Just like when we was in New York, the whole time, you're counting down, like, 3 hours.
The crazy part is, man, that DC drive probably was nothing compared to that New York drive. Bro, that joint back was brutal. Like, we got up there and breathed. We were like, oh, this is chill.
That's like when we was with Mr. Wickham.
Bro,
it's like we could get both of them be great.
No, like we got down there 4 hours. We got to North Carolina in probably 4 hours. Like
in 4 hours. Leaving at like 3:30 in the morning.
About 3-4 in the morning. Man, coming back, we got stuck in traffic. That was a 7-hour drive. We should have went to Myrtle Beach for all that if we was gonna be on the road that long.
You should have.
Yeah, we could see if Tim Reed was there, we was gonna hang out with him.
Remember he tried to stop past his house.
Yeah, he said he got a studio.
I want y'all to see Tim Reed's studio. We like Ms. Wickham. We already we stuck in traffic. We ain't gonna make it back. We
ready from sister. Okay. Right. But that's why for Black Girl Magic Jobber Slam, Janelle just sent me the hotel information. I ain't doing that joint again. It's wake up, get up, because I did it twice this summer. May when we was in May, and that joint was brutal coming back. It was raining then. Me and Brother Hugh was coming back. I'm
at the mega bust it up because that ain't that was rough.
Yeah,
I was like, man, it wasn't supposed to be. I was like, man, this is real. But
speaking of Black WrestleFest, the Realness just put out a vlog. And if the people like it, man, I sat there, it took me back, and I was like, wow, we had a lot of fun there. Yeah, I encourage everybody to go check it out.
Yeah, I wanted to make sure we chronicled our trip, man, so people can get a good idea of how we hang out and what we do. And if you missed it, you can go and check that out on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/The Wrestling Wrealm, where you can check out the very first Black WrestleFest and our involvement in it and the people we got a chance to meet and engage with and hang out with and all that good jazz. So I had a blast. So hopefully you have a good time watching it.
You made the Realm Mobile a thing. Like people want to ride in the Realm Mobile now.
Dang. I mean, but see, that was the vision almost 2, 3, 4 years ago when we did Blerdcon the first time. Yeah. Like we had a whole logo, like, because it was around the time where you got to think about ride along was starting to become real popular. Like the network was hitting like their original content was.
You had to say that word, bro.
I mean,
I had memories about the network last night. Just like the first stuff I was watching, you just brought back painful memories.
I'm hoping that the contract will end soon and they can get back to like, look, man, the pandemic's over with. You don't got to sell it anymore. But I don't know. But yeah, I was like, man, if people were just a fly on the wall for the drives alone, but I had to cut a lot out. But man, I just
thank you.
Yeah, it was like, it wasn't nothing crazy. It was just long. Like I said, bro, if we sit here, it's gonna be its own video. It's gonna be 40 minutes of us acting a fool in the car.
Yep.
So,
yep.
But yeah, definitely go check it out. So if you missed Black WrestleFest this year in Brooklyn,
and the podcast.
And the part that that was I saw that today.
That was fire,
bro.
Thank you.
I was so thoroughly inspired by that. I was just like, man, this turned out really well. And I was looking at it like, man, this is good. Like I immediately designed like 4 t-shirts after that. I'm telling you, I was like, you know what? I'm on a hot streak. I said, let me carry this momentum. And I was like, okay, cool. And I literally like, I was trying to put together previews to kind of like shock drop them tonight, but they just weren't. They weren't going to be ready.
My man brought out the sketchbook, the big binder.
Bro, I designed like 4 new, like the next batch of Wrestle Rum tees are going to be like flames. Like this is on some. Okay, like we did the first line right with all the logos and stuff on it, but now it's time to get funky. So,
I'm laughing because I know I'm setting myself up for this one, but I'm laughing because I did something and you said you was inspired by it. And I remember one time I thought I had it in my notes section when you first sent it because I had copied the notes from the text message. Shout out to Kofi Weaston from the Dirty Hills podcast and on watching on YouTube. But y'all ain't see this text message that the real Dwayne Allen like leaned in on me about this project I was working on. That shit was like 6 pages. You better than this. You done learned too much information. What the hell is this?
What project was that?
Oh, you know what it is. It's only one you ever did that for. Come on now. You always do boom, 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 boom. So
that was the almighty.
So
that joint was weak.
I mean, hit you with the techno music.
I said, listen.
I almost said a word we don't use on this podcast. I was that close.
He gave me a sizzle reel with like the brief, like maybe 5 or 6 minutes of just like what he had already. And then he like added some random music to it, and I didn't know it was. I didn't know it was random music.
It was a placeholder.
Right? I didn't know that, right? So like he went on GarageBand, and it was like, "This is so and so story." I was like, "Yo, what's that? What kind of music backdrop is this?" He's like, "Oh, that was a place." I said, "Nah, bro, this joint's trash." Like it was.
This don't say nothing. I don't understand. What is this? You got too much knowledge. Too much. And I was sitting at my desk at work. Next thing I know, this is my chest. I'm getting like anxiety going through the roof. I'm like, dang, man. So I'm like, so I go back in like our secret playlist and I'm starting to restudy stuff. And yeah, so I was like, so when you just said like, yo, that was inspiring, I was like, well, 4 years ago.
Here's my advice to anybody. Don't ask me to look over nothing. Don't ask me my opinion on anything because you're gonna get the realest answer you're gonna get.
Yes, you will. Yes, you will.
And I don't look to critique, but I look to tell people the truth. And sometimes that isn't always as savory as people want it to be. But this one right here, I was thoroughly inspired. I was like, oh, it turned out well. It wasn't forced. It was very casual. You know what I mean? It had a very cinematic feel to it. Like the way it was shot. Like I said, and this is credit to you, Hugh, because. Like it was, you know me, I'm kind of, Brian H is the journalist. That's what he does. That's what he's passionate about, right? I'm kind of like the anti-journalist. And it's like not against journalism, but it's like, I like to break all the rules when it comes to journalism, right? I like to take like cinematic and film, like ways of doing things and then forcing that into journalism. You know what I mean? And that was exactly the vibe. I don't know if it was intentional or not, but it was like, it wasn't set up. It wasn't super formal. It wasn't set up like we were at a, there's a time and a place for all that stuff, but it was literally like he called it. He got in and out, like he panned left and right. I said, "Oh, this is beautiful." Only thing that happened was the battery died. But like I said, even you could hear it on the podcast, and I'm like, "Bro, don't worry about that battery. Like, bro, you got all this content, and you working your tail off. We good,
right?"
And even when you piece it together, like the way you piece it together was you added the photos to match everything we were talking about, so it still fit. And even some of the other videos, so. It's storytelling, and that's what we do. So.
And that was the thing with Brother Hugh, like taking that break.
My bad. Number 10. We just got that.
Yes, sir. Number 10.
Yes, sir. My bad. Go ahead.
So, but yeah, like with you taking that break to get the photos, because it's hard when you just doing both. you know, because you got to like use your mind. Okay, is this a video moment or is this a photo moment? I've done that in
big
church a
time.
lot of times. And so it was like, oh, this is easy. Bam, we got a picture of Brother Keith. We got a picture of Brother Corey, you know. So it's just like, just slide it right on in and we was good to go, you know. And then shout out to Ciendo for, you know, having that video. I straight went and ripped it off so I could, you know, capture the moment with me and Jay Bougie. So like, you know, and just having like everything right there, you know, being able to sit there and go over this, you know, do that live was so much fun, you know. So,
Nah, I mean that's it. I'll say this publicly: we wouldn't be able to do half of the stuff that we've been able to do if it wasn't for Brother Hugh's involvement. Right? I'm talking about somebody that's just blatantly selfless. He's like the ultimate teammate, the ultimate team player. It's like, bro, I don't like. What do I got to do to make sure we get this done the right way? Yeah. And he never asked for credit. He never asked to be highlighted or spotlighted, which is why we wanted him to be, you know, kind of more involved with the brand, because he was at day one. Like, what our biggest video to date, my most prized possession, like the most proud project I've ever dealt with. He was there. They, like,
validated by Eric Bischoff and Hulk Hogan. I'm just saying. Like
Hogan said, thumbs up. You know what I mean? And Eric Bischoff said, outstanding work, gents. Like, he produced the original piece. That NWO piece, when we returned, you know, after you know, we had been away for a while, you know, travel and circumstances and jobs and real life and stuff like that. Like, he was there. And it's like, man, and it was like one of the most beautiful mistakes that we've ever had a chance to kind of have, because if he wasn't there to do those things, it would have, I don't care how good it would have turned out, it wouldn't have been what it is now.
Facts.
So, like I said, always, like I said, you know, anytime we get a chance to shout out Brother Hugh, it's like I look at us like Run DMC. You know what I mean? You got Run, you got DMC, but they'll tell you in a heartbeat, we're nothing without Jam Master Jay. Run DMC is incomplete without Jam Master Jay, and that's what the wrestling room is without Brother Hugh. It's incomplete without Brother Hugh. So, like I said, man, just what you're able to capture, the ability to kind of just adapt. And it's like, you didn't come up in this stuff, you adopted this stuff. Like, you jumped in it, and you jumped in it on the ground running, man. So,
facts.
Like I said, man, if there's hit the applause button, Brian. Let's give Brother Hugh a round of applause. He said he don't got the buttons. Don't worry about it. That's all right. He don't got that. There it is.
Buttons is just at the way to.
Yeah. So
I appreciate y'all, man. Y'all know I love y'all. So
yeah, man.
I'm gonna go hard for y'all. You know.
Not to mention you're cooler than both of us, and we try to keep up with your cool.
I'm gonna put the video out.
Which is definitely impossible. What video?
When they asked, shout out to Vaughn. He said he asked all the podcasters to talk about which group that we would compare ourselves to.
Oh, that's it. I said
it.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm gonna have to put that out. Yeah, brother Hugh, you know, doing his thing.
We got Brother Montez up there today. What you got in that cup, buddy? What you got in that cup up there, buddy?
Oh, that's this hydrogen to oxygen. But it's a little warm, so I put a couple of frozen hydrogen and frozen oxygen. So
we can tell you passed chemistry.
Right.
My little Montez Ford thing.
But he in blue.
Oh, this is SmackDown version.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
See, there it is.
It's crazy. I guess we'll talk some wrestling tonight.
Oh shoot! It's been 40 minutes and we ain't said a word. We was talking shop all this time. Did we advertise T-shirts or anything?
No, you said something. You was working on some stuff, but also
buy T-shirts. WrestleRealm.com. Everybody.
My highs are too high or whatever. But no, because I moved the thing and then I just sound different.
Are you hearing echo?
No. Do y'all hear echo?
Nah, you don't. No. You don't sound different on this end.
All right, cool. That's all that matters then. But make sure y'all check out our merch store, get a T-shirt. You know, shout out to everybody that's bought T-shirts and that's been rocking with us and rocking them. We definitely appreciate y'all. Let's go ahead and throw that flyer up. Boom.
There it is. Bam. You keep putting up that one.
I do.
That's all right. That's all right. That's just the full screen one.
Yeah. So make sure I do that. Subscribe to the Patreon. We appreciate our patrons. We've been dropping some stuff on there a little early, you know, so you get early access, but also some exclusive shows. I didn't do a Brian H. Waters thoughts this week just because I've been super busy with the other content. And I might actually take a couple of days off, not do no work at all. we'll see how that goes.
That's okay,
but-
brother. You deserve it.
Thank you.
I take days off all the goddamn time.
Right. Mental health days.
Yeah, life is short. Look.
Right.
Yeah, but when it's not work when you really enjoy it, But yeah,
And that's the key, man.
It's also
right. That's the goal. That's the goal. That's the focus.
Mm-hmm. But I guess we could talk about. Well, first of all, what y'all watching?
Oh, I'm glad you asked because I was just ready to get into it.
I'm watching SummerSlam 2000. It's Steve Blackman versus Shane McMahon.
I'm watching. My fault. But you gonna elaborate because that was you take dramatic pauses.
Yeah, well, that's the match they're showing, and we all know this is when Steve Blackman hit Shane and he fell backwards off the side of the Titantron, and then he did shake his head. Wasn't you a Steve Blackman fan, Hugh?
I love.
I feel
Steve
like
Blackman, man.
Yeah, I'm about to say I feel like you was a Steve Blackman fan back in middle school.
Yeah, Steve Blackman was the man. And his music.
I was about to say I was more a fan of his music rather than his Steve Blackman himself. Like Blackman was cool though. He's a solid guy.
I was watching some stuff earlier. It was when they had like those UFC, like those tough guys, and it was that him, Shamrock, and Dan Severn, and it was like all in the mix. And they threw Owen Hart in there, I guess, because he was a shooter. But it was just like fun watching how like they all like came. They was kind of like their own division in a sense without being an official division.
Yeah, that's when they were incorporating like the people from the like martial arts and like you say UFC and like I said just Greco-Roman style, like say being a straight shooter. Owen Hart, right. Rest his soul. So yeah, I remember that Dan Severn. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and that's when he had like a couple of the UFC belts.
Yeah, he was an NWA champion at one point, I think, and he came really pretty decked for a very basic guy. He was very decorated, but that was part of his gimmick. He was another straight shooter. You know what I mean? He was just pure tough guy. So
yeah, that was definitely a lot of fun.
I'm watching NXT War Games. Actually it's on the War Games match with Ricochet, Pete Dunne and the Viking Raiders versus the Undisputed Era.
Oh yeah,
NXT used to be really good. That's one of my favorite matches. Like that's one of my favorite matches to this day. Like that's it doesn't get any better than that. Sometimes you look at that stuff like, man, first of all, I'm not trying to body shame anybody, but why does Adam Cole look super jacked in this match? But I'm not gonna be a part of the problem. But yeah, NXT War Game.
Word. Brother Hugh, now the Orioles are over 500.
I know, right? Yo, y'all know who I'm watching. Y'all know exactly who I'm watching.
Oh, Ziggler.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, we know you got excited this week. Did you went back and watched it?
Yeah, I had to go back and watch it because I initially missed it, man. I fell asleep, man. I was tired. But once I heard what happened, I was like, oh my gosh, let me go back and watch that. I flipped my lid, bro.
Yes,
I said, my man
yes,
is
indeed.
back. My man is back, bro. He's here to save the day.
Back.
Bro, you're talking about somebody that just won't go away. The main event keeps on main eventing.
Yeah, man.
I say yes. Like don't
Ziggler
throw. I don't care how old he is. Don't throw Dolph Ziggler away. You
Ziggler
can't.
to the rescue, man. Him and Seth Rollins, and even to the Miz, you could throw him in that category. Those are your go-to guys.
We talking about some wrestling now. I'm starting to get a little excited. Here we go. So there's something particular about that. As I just put on I just put on NXT Takeover. Which one was this one? I don't even know which one. I'm looking at Andrade versus Johnny Gargano for the NXT champion. Remember when everybody thought it was gonna be a throwaway takeover because everybody was hurt?
Yeah,
and they tore the roof off the place.
Facts.
Andrade.
Let's get into it.
Yeah,
So Dolph Ziggler, what's happening with him? He's now face. I'm assuming getting into it with Theory.
Let me tell you what is happening. And somebody brought it up the other day, and they was like, "I like what's going on." They're finding ways, like they're not being so flat surfaced when involving other superstars in these main event stories.
Yep.
Right, like we all see the writing on the wall. WWE is back into make new star mode. This is why WWE is better than anybody else. Not as far as what you like or don't like, but it's like they kind of get the process of, okay, we got Roman, we got Cody, but we still got to start building for the future. Like you got Liv Morgan, and then they're like two kids. You got Liv Morgan and you got Austin Theory. Everybody knows that they're building Austin Theory to be the next one. That may be 15, 20 years down the line, which is okay, but they're starting that process now.
Fact.
So then when you look at who Dolph Ziggler is and what he represents, he's outside of what he's there to really do. Like we can talk about that in a second, but as far as the storyline is concerned, you got a over the top Austin Theory, and then all of a sudden somebody say like Austin Theory. First of all, how old is Austin Theory? What, 22?
It's something like that. I know he was like real young when he
Dolph
came up
Ziggler,
to WrestleMania.
Dolph Ziggler's old enough to be his dad. It's crazy, isn't it? If you think about it, Ziggler's like 41. But somebody kept saying, like, if you look at Dolph Ziggler was Austin Theory. He was young, he was up and coming, he was hand chosen. You know, he was missing Money in the Bank, and we kind of know how the story ends, right? We don't know why Dolph Ziggler has done what he's done, but he has got us intrigued because we're like, Dolph Ziggler has historically never liked being like young guys just jump to the front of the line for whatever reason. And for him to work with Braun Breaker in NXT has not been as good as it has been since he has been on it. Like he made me want to see him, and Bobby Roode made me want to check into NXT because I like to see those guys working with the young guys. It's the issue I have with AEW a lot of times. Like I don't have enough established guys working with you. I just, it's the same old back and forth for me. But it's like, why not have a guy like Dolph Ziggler who was Austin Theory at one point? Of course, he's going to take a problem with the kid because it's like, I'm tired of you kids coming up taking my spot. It's the same Dolph Ziggler story. It's just a different face, and it makes so much sense because he knows how to make it work. He knows how to shine, and he knows how to make Austin. First of all, everybody know he's a young dude working with a veteran. Dolph Ziggler working with Austin Theory. If anybody can deliver that you can trust, it's going to be Dolph Ziggler. He looks like $1 million and he's old. You remember Flair 41? Look at Dolph Ziggler at 41. Like Dolph Ziggler can wrestle for another 10 years. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah. And I love the fact that every once in a while, Dolph Ziggler goes, you know what? I want to get back in this main event picture. And he finds a way to do it, and it works. It's not forced. It doesn't look crazy, and it just makes sense. Of course, Dolph Ziggler, he's a show off. He gonna cut the same promo and say, look, man, I'm sick of you guys thinking you're just gonna jump the line. You know what I mean? He's fresh off a run in NXT, and he's out for blood against these young dudes. It makes sense. And he's always finding his way back to the main event.
Yeah. These young bucks think they can come in here and steal shows. No. I'm the original, show
exactly.
Like
you said everything I said in like 2 sentences.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that's and
that's
you first of all, you know they're gonna deliver in the ring.
Yeah.
Oh,
so it's like, man, and it's another thing. Look at the dynamic of what we're looking at right now. We have Theory's talking about becoming United States Championship again. He's got one problem on his hand. His name is Bobby Lashley. He's holding the Money in the Bank, and he's talking trash to Roman. He's talking trash to Brock. That's another wrinkle. Like, wait a minute, brother, you talking trash to the wrong people because the Usos and them might jump you and set you up, and Brock Lesnar might throw you through something.
Yeah,
right.
Like he did Otis.
That's what I'm saying. You go recruit Alpha Academy to be your muscle. They come out there, get destroyed. So now you didn't pull them into it. And at the end of the night, when it's all said and done, Zigzag shows up and goes, "Nah, kid. Now I got a bone to pick with you too." I'm like, yo, you can go and so when you add all these facts, this is what I like about wrestling, and this is why I'm liking it now. This is why I'm enjoying it so much now. It's from an entertaining. It's layers to it, right? You've got so many wrinkles that you have to address, right? So it's not like, okay, this Monday he talks trash to Brock Lesnar. Next Monday he talks trash to Roman Reigns. Then the following Monday he's got to either decide whether to cash in or fight him or two. And it's kind of linear and it's basic, right? But this is how you fill your time before you make a decision about how do we want to kind of put Theory in this main event situation, because there's always these sidetrack stories. You start the hero's journey or you start the villain's journey. I want to be champion. Boom. But on the way to through the journey, you got to deal with these side things. One thing about Mick Foley was known for was getting whoever was next up prepared for that next up, right? We see it on a smaller level with guys like Chris Jericho and X-Pac. You had to get through X-Pac first. If you make it through that situation, then you moved on to the next ranks, IC title, and then so on and so forth, right? Mick Foley was that main event guy that was a distraction. Like, okay, Rock's challenging Austin, but at the same time, he's got to deal with Triple H on the way up. He's got to deal with Mankind on the way up. And then eventually, when it's all said and done, we know what his original destination is supposed to be. they're setting that up for Austin Theory, and I'm glad that there's so many other moving pieces to it. I'm like, oh, this is perfect, because now it's not just this guy versus that guy, and then after a while you run out of things for those guys to do, and it's like, now what do? Your product becomes relatively stale. And I think every promotion has a problem, and I don't know what sauce WWE's been putting on their product as of recently, but I'm like, oh, this is intriguing, because now you've got me coming back to say, oh, wait a minute now, what does he have to do with this situation? And then like Brother Hugh says, you say, okay, well, I could understand. We know Dolph Ziggler enough. This is why you need to establish stars. You don't got to explain why Dolph Ziggler did what he did. You can figure it out for yourself. You know his history. You know what he's known for. And he's done this before. So you're like, oh, okay. So now Dolph Ziggler wants a
My man just showed up at NXT.
That's what
with
I'm saying.
Braun Breaker,
That's what I'm saying. So it's like, okay, yeah, we like he has a bone to pick with these young dudes. And guess what? He's beating them. So why wouldn't he expect the same thing? Like, so I'm shocked. I'm like, you're adding a little depth to these characters and storylines. It's interesting.
I love it.
Austin Theory got problems, B.
He's got big problems. But guess what, though? You know the crazy part is another thing. That's what we want to see. He's a punk. He's young. He's spoiled. He was handpicked. He gets what he wants. He finagles. He finesses. And I'm just like, in the back of your mind, you say, yo, this dude might get away with it. Like, he's that bad kid. They're like, yo, he might actually get away with this. Like, you want to see that kid get caught, get in trouble, get put out of school, get a spanking, whatever the case may be. Like, you finally got what you deserve. But you like, yo, this dude might get away with it. And that's enough to keep you coming back. Like, there's no way in the world he's going to beat Roman. Then you're like, well, wait a minute. He might find his way.
The memes that people show were like Roman reaction, like this little.
we saw the same thing with Daniel Bryan, with Mark Henry and Big Show and that whole situation, that whole scenario. Yep. So there's ways around it. We saw it with Seth Rollins, his first cash in. Like, what? During that time, nobody was going to believe that Seth Rollins was going to beat Roman or Brock Lesnar. You know what I mean? And then all of a sudden, but he found a way. You're like, oh man, Austin Theory might find a way to pull this off. But now you've got all these other pieces to it. You're like, yes, finally, somebody's gonna. And just the fact that the show ended with him getting kicked in the face, I went home happy.
Oh man, yeah, that was good stuff. Real quick, did y'all watch the Rivals on A&E, Brett and Sean?
Gotta go back and watch. I was once again, I was busy on Sunday, so I missed Undertaker's biography. I was mad about that, and I also missed the Rivals.
Yeah, when you get a chance, check it out. Definitely, we'll dive into it. I mean, it's nothing we don't know, but it's always good to see like new footage, new interviews. You can tell it's new footage because you can look at Shawn Michaels' hair and look at him and Bret Hart. Obviously, looking at Bret Hart's hair too. Just seeing everything they come across. I mean, and I've been deep into the Montreal Screwjob for the past 2 weeks. So I was like, and then I turned out like, oh, we doing this now. But nonetheless, it was still, it's still good. I mean, anytime you're talking those two right there, you can't go wrong. I actually went back and watched that Rivalries DVD too.
Yep.
I remember like when that first came out, that was probably like, there was like so many wrestling DVDs at one point, and that was probably one that was like, it was like the hottest thing right when it first came out. I was like, man, you got to get this. You got to see it as soon as it came out because that had never been done before. Sit there and put Jim Ross and, real quick, SummerSlam 2000. The funniest thing was, we don't often say this about The Rock, but in this case, he was the afterthought as WWE champion because Stephanie McMahon was in a love triangle with Triple H and Kurt Angle.
Right. Yep. Big time. Yep. I remember we used to be like, I remember like, oh boy, this is heating up now.
Yeah.
we would sit there like, man, I know Kurt Angle was plotting on his woman.
Remember
that friendly kiss? Like, it was a kiss between friends. I said, bro, he hung her down on the couch after he saved her. I'm like, bro.
And then Stephanie was talking to the makeup artist, like, yeah, Kurt's actually a good kisser.
See, that was the drama we had in our wrestling back in those days. You go to school like, bro, did you see Kurt Angle?
Right.
Like, what in the world? It used to be like, no. Triple H couldn't stand it, but there was nothing he could do about it. No, we're friends. Trust me, it's nothing like that. And I'm like, nah, bro. I'm watching it on TV. Something's going on.
It's very dramatic. It's like watching Young and the Restless.
And I was about to say, man, it was our soap operas. That's what it was.
That's what it is. Straight up.
Yeah. That's all it was. It was like I said, it was fun stuff. Let's see what else happened. I had to run down on the other side. Man, you see Paul Heyman he basically told Roman what he need in order to take out Brock. And Paul Heyman he's so good at what he does because he does this thing where he makes it like it's almost like he's about to tell Roman he can't beat Brock. Like he did this before, like going into what was that before day one? I think it was, or it was the Raw. Yeah, and then he like hypes Roman up, and he told him we need a savage. He said it's one thing to put him down 1, 2, 3, but it's another thing to keep him down for a 10 count. Gentlemen, I know we still have a couple weeks to go to SummerSlam. Do y'all have a person that you already think will win this matchup, or you still waiting to see the story unfold?
Oh, this is going to be a doozy. Because here's how I'm looking at it. I'm well aware that they have to tell a different story. This is the Brock versus Roman is going to be a chapter in WWE history as far as rivalries are concerned. And the best part about it is each time they've given it to us, it's like the first one at WrestleMania. The very first one was basic. It was 31. Fun. 31 was flat. And it was the introduction. It was the beginning of it. And we revisit it now, and there's been so many wrinkles and so many twists and turns to this rivalry. And it's like, what are they going to do now? Like, what's the story they're going to tell? Like, what chapter are we about to read? Like, if you read a good book, and Brian, you can attest to this because you read books. when you're knee deep into a book and you're watching you watch the characters develop and grow in a good book, from chapter 1 all the way to say 20, 25, whatever, like around 10, 15, 17 chapter, you begin to watch these characters develop based off what's going on. And we've seen the cheating, we've seen the backdooring, we've seen all these things that kind of left us in our minds saying that this isn't over between these two. They're going to come back. They got to come back and finish this off. Like Brock Lesnar and Goldberg having their match as older guys kind of capped off what they started as younger guys because it was a missed opportunity. They both were in not good spaces with WWE during those times, but they came back and had a phenomenal matchup. It didn't have to be long. It served its purpose because they said, we're going to take something, we're going to finish this the correct way. You can even look at it at Austin's career, his match with Kevin Owens. He finished his career the correct way. He kind of left on his own terms how he wanted to do it. We looking at this Brock and Roman, and every time they have a match, there's always these big question marks. Like, wait a minute, this doesn't seem like this is going to be over all of a sudden. Brock Lesnar's just not going to move on because these are two guys that are big alpha males, and they both want to be top dogs, and it's not room for both of them. That's why one has to go away for a period of time versus the other one sticks around and kind of runs the show. At one point, it was Brock. At this point, it's Roman, and it's like it can go either way. Not to mention, you have all these other wrinkles. Like I said, you have an Austin theory that's like, I'm going to threaten to become all these champions. And you're like, wait, what? So it's like, it's to me, I don't want to say it's too early, but the way they've been throwing twists and turns, man, I don't know what they plan on doing next. So it's like, I got to wait till it unfolds. But the best part is at this age, watching wrestling, and I get that, I'm like, oh, this is perfect. Yeah, this is something for the kids. And yet I can be this invested in it. So I'm on deck. I gotta wait. I can't give a prediction. It's too early.
Okay.
Yeah, man. You kind of gotta wait. Like you said, I mean, it's just too many factors. You got Austin theory, and then the winner of this outcome or whatnot. Like they have maybe Cody Rhodes. How does he play into it later on? See that whole run into WrestleMania. What's going on there? So it's like there's so many different directions you can go. I mean, I have no idea. I would love to see the big dog win again, or excuse me, I'm sorry, the tribal chief win again. But I mean, hey, either way, you're gonna get a good match. It's gonna be very entertaining.
And that's then you have to go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was about to say, and that was the major purpose, like the premise of bringing Brock Lesnar back, put butts in seats.
And then you got to factor in. So what are we doing with the titles? Like, exactly. It's I know we acknowledge it right now. I'm okay with this temporary undisputed run because it's not. Like I said, it's very informal. It's very impromptu. Like, oh, okay, so they announced him as the WWE Universal Undisputed Champ or whatever the undisputed WWE Champion, WWE Universal Champion. and I'm okay with it because it's like, okay, we got to get rid of the belts and we got to have one belt and we got a brand split. They're like, no, we can do it. Let's just do it temporary. Whoever has both belts, but there's always this wrinkle of, okay, so what happens when you're ready to split this up? How do you divvy it out?
Yeah.
How do you? And it's like, to me, it's like they're taking their time. Like, okay, well, we can take our time, just hold it until we can figure out a legitimate way where we have a second champion on the same level as Reigns, where one doesn't seem less important than the other. Like we had that on deck with like Seth Rollins and Cody Rhodes, but Cody Rhodes just got injured. So now they got to go young. Not to say that, okay, well, next man up is going to be him. No, but it's like, okay, well, if we can't promote, a second champion, let's distract the people with creating a new star. Let's continue to go with Austin Theory because this is just the beginning for him. This doesn't mean he could try to cash in and lose. It doesn't matter because his upward trajectory is already going up. And at the end of the day, that's all that you care about because like Cena was considered the guy early on and they knew where he was going to go, but it took him a long time to get to that point. And that's fine. As long as you're jump starting that process. And that goes back to just creating new stars, create them early, put them in legitimate situations so they can make all their bumps and bruises. So in 5, 6, 10 years, these guys can be the guys that can carry the flag for your company. Like a Roman Reigns is a guy we didn't want, as far as us concerned, our generation. We were still high off the indie run, and we wanted the best wrestler in the world to get those titles, which was Daniel Bryan. You know what I mean? And they were like, no, we got to build a big dog. And although we didn't enjoy it at the moment, eventually, look what he is now. Like, well, all those moments, good, bad, ugly, or indifferent, led to what we are enjoying now. Like, oh, this version of Roman is so much more sweeter because of the version of Roman that was kind of pushed on us early on. So,
no, you hit that right on the head, and I'm sitting there like I can understand like, oh, it's these two again, but it's just a lot of other stuff that goes into it too. Like Roman, sure, I would love to see him every week, but at this point, when you look at the longevity of his run, it makes sense why he's like lessening his dates. It also kind of keep him fresh. And I've never been one, like I'm one who like to see the champion every week, whether even if they wrestling or not, just, because like when Roman comes out and cuts a promo, it's must see TV. But I can understand why, because you also don't want to bury and the roster too. Like you're looking at Clash of the Castle. More than likely, I think Drew's gonna win a championship. Maybe he won't, but you kind of figure, okay, he's gonna be, he's main eventing. I'm pretty sure he beat Sheamus. I ain't finished SmackDown, but I'm pretty sure he beat him. So there's that. But it's like, okay, how many people would you have sacrificed if you put Roman on a Hell in a Cell or I'm about to call it Extreme Rules or Money in the Bank? How many other people you would have sacrificed for this story? Everybody isn't a Kevin Owens and a Sami Zayn who can like afford those losses where you won't look at them different or they won't be perceived differently.
Right. Untouchables.
Yeah, that's the word.
I mean, it's all promotion, man. It's all promotion. Like you said, keep Roman away. We can promote him the next time he come back. Get those that viewership up. Get those T-shirts selling. Same thing with Brock Lesnar. Get those cowboy hats selling.
Yeah.
So
I don't even know if they selling those.
I don't know, but hey,
that's why you're the marketing guy. They might need to call you.
They need to call me.
Just put in your contract you still do Rome stuff.
Yes, sir.
Did y'all watch AEW?
Nah.
What part of it?
Not
the
yet.
end?
Not yet.
We got new tag team champions.
Who the new tag team champions?
Keith Lee and Swerve Strickland.
Wow.
They beat the Bucks and Ricky Starks and Hobbs. Let me ask y'all this. I gotta know. Y'all see a star in Ricky Starks?
I mean, I'm not like I'm not seeing it right now, but it doesn't mean it's not him though. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, let's go back 40 years and they say, do you see a star in Terra Rising?
Right.
Or do you see it? Do you see a star in the Diamond Stud?
Right.
Do you see a star in the Wizard, Kevin Nash, or Vinny Vegas, or do you see a star in Mean Mark Callis?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, do you see a star in the manager, Diamond Dallas Page, who was a manager, by the way?
Right.
Like, it's tough to say. Like, you never know who can do what with what opportunities, and sometimes guys aren't booking right.
That's why I like that, like, you know, just asking, because obviously that's a subjective question. You feel me? And a lot of people are telling me like, "Yo, this kid is a star. This kid is a star." Now I will say, like the other day we was talking about it on Mac Mania, and Evan brought up a few points, and I was like, I see what people are seeing, but before that, I'm like, you know, I'm watching him, and yeah, he can, you know, he cut some promos and stuff, but I'm looking, I'm like, I don't see what everybody else seeing. If y'all in the comments, let me know what y'all think. But that's why I like asking these questions, you know, and it's fun to like look at this stuff now and go back. Like, I actually watch like a lot of our season 1 and season 2 stuff and be like,
I don't think I can get through it. Can you see it?
Yeah, we
get blurry.
It's still better than some of the stuff that is out on the internet now.
You say that often.
I do, but you know, I look at some of that stuff and I'm like, wow, okay, that's interesting to think we was here. Like, we was actually, it was funny because that was another thing at Blerdcon. Like, I think Blake or Corey said something about Mojo Rawley back in. No, it was they was playing an old clip of Jobber Tears, and one of them said something about Mojo Rawley. Yeah. You know, and so it's always funny to like go back and look at those old takes. You know, and because in wrestling we can, you know, everybody look. Dusty Rhodes didn't get it all right. Vince McMahon didn't get it all right. You know,
I mean, there's who are some of the guys that everybody thought they were going to be big deals just because they were young talent and stuff like that. There's been a handful, hasn't there?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't want to call guys overrated. They just didn't pan out the way they expected to.
Johnny Nitro
was one of them.
That was the realness never let me let that one down.
It's not too often that I'm wrong when it comes to that kind of stuff, and it's not like wrong because I say it, but it's like when you look at how their career panned out, I'm like, well,
no, but like in our first meeting, you kept going in on his bedazzled pants.
Yeah, excuse me. That I hated it. That's no
he kept going in, and I was sitting there again. Yeah, it's like, yo, he got these sparkling bedazzled pants. Then mind you, we planning like we're gonna do this show. It's called the Wrestling Wrealm, yada yada yada, and the realness just kept going in.
That's what an angry rant came from.
That's where the angry rant came from.
Yeah, yep. Like, you got an angry rant, man. We should put that in the show. Like, I got plenty of those.
Brodus Clay,
real skinny, and my head backwards, glasses.
I was about to say,
yeah, I just had to cock the hat back. It was like Diddy in '94.
Heck yeah! Oh, there you go. There it is. Give it to him. Oh man, but yeah. What else? Oh yeah, this week we saw Bianca Belair lose to Carmella via countout, so she retained the championship. It's funny because it's like explaining that to my daughter because she's watching and she sees her lose. She's like, "She's not the champ." I said, "No, she's still champion. It's a countout." I thought it was about to be SummerSlam last year all over again because that was her first wrestling heartbreak. So
okay, yeah.
I was like, but yeah, I like this dynamic now because now Becky Lynch is involved. So you're going to have the three of those ladies probably in a triple threat match. And you think about last year, it was Bianca versus Carmella, or that was the replacement opponent. And you're like, no, I ain't dealing with you or whatever she did. And then here comes Becky, and then we all know what happened there. So to have this come full circle, these three ladies in the ring in Nashville, that'll be interesting. Speaking of Bianca, shout out to her. Her and Jade was at NASCAR. Obviously, those two ladies didn't take a picture together for social media. But it's been funny if it was, people was already saying, wait, the Forbidden Door? I'm like, yo, chill.
Hold on. They were at that same event?
It was at the same event in Atlanta.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure if it was the same event, but okay.
And it took me back to a story that I think Kevin Nash told or Triple H told, where it was like WCW was at this like one event in like Daytona or something, and WWE was there, and they was like I think they was told like not to do too much interacting. It was like they are friends, but because the blogs and stuff will pick it up.
Sure.
But nowadays everybody got a camera phone, so it's like, nah, you can't do that.
Big time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean that's like I say, anytime you have two black women that's black people about to kind of make their presence felt in NASCAR. This is what we do. Like you don't want us to be involved in it, or you trying to keep us out. Okay, guess what? That's kind of what we do. So And it's just like, Michael Jordan is making his presence known in NASCAR. You know what I mean? So to have like Bianca Belair, to have Jade and stuff like that, it's just like I'm okay with it. Like I said, anytime you can support two black women on top that are in the spaces that they're in, representing the culture and stuff like that, man. It's kudos to both of them.
Oh boy, Christian's at it again.
Uh-oh.
He told he got on Brian Pillman Jr. He said, just like Jungle Boy, you had a father, but your father was a legend's business. Legends are the words of other people, not my opinion. Your father average at best. He wasn't a walking living legend.
I said, I saw Christian's comment on Matt Hardy. It was a quote. He said like it was something to the degree like, oh yeah, you're not a good brother because you rather ignore your brother's problems and bring him back and ride his coattail rather than be a good brother and keep him something else. And I was like, I don't see the lies.
Hey, straight up, right?
I said, ooh, that was not nice. But I'm like, but I don't disagree with you. Like
that was below the belt.
It was really bad. I was like, Christian's saying whatever he wants. Like, what's going on with Christian? I think it's funny and I think it's like inappropriate, but I mean that's what he feels right now. So if that's what the captain wants to do, that's the captain can go ahead and do his thing. But I saw that, I was like, ooh, that's not nice. But it's not like it's
Christian
not true.
cooking.
He's just frying his dude. He said, your father's the legend's business. He's like, well, not their words, not mine. I think it's average at best. I was like, ouch. But hey.
You see Rick he called Chris Jericho a Shawn Michaels wannabe.
He definitely did though. He definitely did.
These cats cooking, man. I love it. Bring all the smoke.
I mean, it's what it is.
We was talking about how it was happening in football, but even now the old legends, as Ric Flair gets ready for his last match.
Are the Horsemen reuniting? Because they kind of teased it. It said Horsemen one last ride.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think they're gonna be doing StarCast and stuff like that.
So we're gonna see. I guess Rick. We're gonna see Tully. We're gonna see Arn. We're gonna see Barry Windham. Because we don't acknowledge Ole. So Barry's the fourth horseman. I don't care what anybody says.
I'll never forget the reference you made about Ole Anderson. When I was like, yo, why has Ole got so much heat? And you made a reference to how he was like a former co-host of mine. Like, yeah, they just around, but nobody really they keep him around, but nobody really bang with him.
Everybody loves Barry Windham though.
Yeah, how about that?
Everybody loves Barry.
Yeah, man. Oh boy.
I'm waiting for you to discuss my guy finally getting in the mix of things.
Oh,
the Sicilian psychopath.
Yeah. I was gonna ask you about that.
Tommaso Ciampa. When I saw him out there with the Miz, I said, yes, he's out there with a main event guy. He's not getting thrown to the wolves. Working with AJ, I said, yes.
Oh, they're gonna put on some matches.
First of all, they got chemistry because they're well familiar with each other. And I was like, yo, Tommaso Ciampa needs to get going, and he needs this rub from established guys. And I'm like, man, they like these are the things that I like to see. You have AJ and Logan Paul. You got the Miz. Like they don't know what to do with Tommaso Ciampa. Like it's kind of they're trying to fit him in somewhere. And I think he just needs an opportunity to kind of show what he can do. And first of all, he doesn't need to because he's already shown what he can do. I'm talking about on the stick, behind the camera, in the ring. You know what I mean? If you want to knock your size, like who's big right now? Like Daniel Bryan wasn't all that tall, wasn't a big dude. AJ Styles definitely not a big dude. Miz not a big dude. So like, and he's in phenomenal shape, no pun intended. But to seeing a demented, violent Tommaso Ciampa is like, let's get him going. So I was happy to see him get that rub. Like, man, put him in there with all the established players and let him kind of make a name for himself. So I'm happy to see that.
Yeah, Brother Hugh.
Man, I'm with it. You know, I was a Ciampa fan ever since ROH. So I mean, yeah, I'm with it. Give him more TV time.
Yeah, I think the thing with him is just getting him in that right story because like you said, clearly he can work, and it's unfortunate like Randy Orton isn't there right now because like for a while that was like the dream match that people wanted to see.
Right.
When Ciampa was like the best heel in wrestling, we had that old lady beating ready to take him out. So I think this is a good opportunity for him. Seeing him with AJ Styles and and we're gonna see. How about the Judgment Day though?
I feel bad for the Judgment Day. I feel like they're getting kind of lost in the mix because of right. I know they offered Dominic to join the stable, but I'm just like, I think without Rhea Ripley, it's like they're supposed to be like this kind of offbeat, destructive faction, right? And that's where the power lies in the faction. But like now they're kind of a random tag team, and it's not their fault. It's just unfortunately with Rhea's injury, like it kind of like you don't want to progress too much of what you were going to do with them as a faction, as a group, because she plays a major part in that.
Right.
Yeah.
So that it seems like right now it looks like they're just trying to buy time till they pick up on the story. Like we got to buy time until we can figure out what's going on with Rhea before we can kind of really jump back into let's get the Judgment Day going again. Like, what do we stand for? Because like we know what they stand for. You know what I mean? It's the same thing that Retribution stood for and all these other groups and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. But it's like, it's just you can tell they're taking their time. I don't mind.
Ask you, do you bring somebody else? Do you put somebody else in?
I think as long as you keep teasing the fact that you might do it, you stay relevant because you can pop up at any time, right?
Okay,
right. Like, right. To stay relevant, you don't need to get to the finish line. You don't have to give people the payoff right now. You just have to keep people interested long enough so that they'll stick around long enough for the payoff. Mm-hmm. So if the Judgment Day, say they don't have another match for another month, if they come out every Monday for the next 4 weeks in random matches and watch a certain talent perform and don't say a word, just kind of whisper to each other and then leave, they're going to stay relevant. They don't have to wrestle. They don't got to beef with anybody. They don't got to be in the mix. It's because everybody knows who they are. Everybody knows they're very cult-like and they're trying to recruit, and manipulate and all that good stuff. And as long as you keep pressing that forward, then it's like, I got a reason to keep these guys kind of in a relevant space because you're like, who's going to join next? It's this guesswork of who else feels like they're not getting that fair shake? Who else feels like they don't belong? Like everybody's like, well, why wouldn't Tommaso Ciampa join? Because he's the perfect fit for what you guys are trying to do. Like your whole message is what he stands for. But I mean, that's kind of, that's kind of the tone of what the Judgment Day was supposed to be. It's supposed to be limitless, kind of ruleless. This mix of like DX attitude with ministry way of doing things. You know what I mean? So there's rebellious nature. But then it's just kind of a supernatural evil aspect kind of merged into two. So it's like you see the Brood, you see the ministry, you see the corporation, you see DX, and it's like, and they're trying to create something from it. But it's like it's difficult when it's just two guys. So we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. It's you hit it right on the head. I'm just interested with this promo, like with Edge. I mean, I feel like we all feel like it's Edge, right?
It's obviously Edge.
Yeah, it's Edge now.
I want to see what his look gonna look like. That's what I'm really excited about, especially because
I just want to grow his hair back out.
Yeah, I feel like he's the type of person he's going to like reinvent himself anyway.
And that's what I'm looking like. What character is he going to play now? And that's what I'm looking forward to. If anybody can pull off it, it's Edge. I'm sure Edge was very jealous of like, and I don't mean it in a literal sense, but like a professional jealousy of like Bray Wyatt. Because he's kind of following in the footsteps, like, okay, this is something I've always wanted to do, and I got a chance to watch somebody else do it. And it's like, hey, man, if I got a chance to do this, I will go back and do it. And now it's like he's fresh off the Judgment Day. Now he's going to transform into the next version of himself, and he's addressing his history, but he's not addressing like the fact that he got kicked out of Judgment Day. Like, where do you go? You can't just turn face. like that's on the surface. That's wrestling. Like, I expect that from AEW. Like. I just do it's wrestling. That's what the fans want in the moment.
We need a sound bite. We need like a sound bite or like a sound every time you say something crazy. Not crazy, but every time you take a shot at AEW, because this ain't gonna work.
I mean, that's how I feel. Like I feel like okay, they're doing a wrestling thing, but it's like, man, I'm into the story thing. So and right now that they're priming us for a story because they're teasing these vignettes like what's going on with this cryptic superstar that you may know, you may not know, and everybody's starting to piece it together. Like, man, there's a whole lot of stuff that's attached to Edge. So, but then the next question turns immediately into, well, why? What is Edge up to? Why is he doing this? Where is this going to lead? Where does he So that's the fun part. It's got me itchy. It's got me anxious. It's got me like, man, I want to see this. And you don't get that feeling often. Like at least now you can have segments or moments in wrestling. Back in the day, it was the whole show.
Yeah, definitely.
Raw, SmackDown, Nitro, Thunder. You know what I mean? Like Saturday night and Worldwide and Live Wire and Sunday night Heat. You can Shotgun Saturday night, Velocity Jacked, whatever. You were like, oh, okay, I get it. This is kind of just wrestling, and I'll take it for what it is. But you had that whole feeling for the whole show. Now we kind of get it in pieces. Oh, okay, this is one segment. I may not like the previous segment, but I'm looking forward to this because it's somebody that I have an emotional attachment to, like Edge. So
yeah,
everybody at one point it was teased that it was the Fiend because it was a Fiend liked promo. But then as things began to kind of unveil, you're like, wait a minute, this is Edge. Like, what is Edge
they come
doing?
back together?
I would love it just the most because I think they're both creative minds that need to be unleashed, and it's like, don't fight what they bring to the table, man. Just embrace it and enhance on it. But it's I wouldn't if I would love to, it would be a great swerve. No copyrights, Shane Strickland. If like Edge, like, you know what? Here's the way I look at it. Edge coming out saying, okay, I came back to the fan adoration, you turned on me. I tried to bring some young talent along and teach them the way. Then they turned on me. So I had to go somewhere that nobody would expect me to go. It's almost like he's selling the soul to the devil. Like that's the closest you get to it, saying, well, I had to go somewhere that nobody was willing to go.
Facts.
And what if he comes back aligned with the Fiend? Now, I don't know how that works. Edge
But
and
then
Fiend is a tag team.
But didn't we kind of see that before with Brood Edge? Like I went back to my roots and whatnot. But I mean, I can understand you can take it to your next level, but
you're absolutely right. He tapped on it. You know what I mean? But the next week it was over. It was just enough to kind of slight AEW because they was Gang Bro was trying to make his way back, and they said, "Oh, we got an idea." He did it with Seth Rollins, and he was pretty like, "You're right. Like, look, I got to go back to a dark place I haven't been in years." And the thing is, he kept going deeper though. He kept getting darker and darker, and then he got into the Judgment Day, which was darker than before. And now I'm like, he's got to go even darker than the Judgment Day. So where do you go?
He gonna flip the script and go Edge light.
I mean, look, we saw with Brodus Clay. He had all these monster promos when he came out. Somebody call my mama.
Now wasn't there rumors saying that Edge was kicked out because they didn't want to go to like the supernatural route? So maybe they could swerve that. Swerve that and put that into like the storyline with the Bray Wyatt returning and whatnot. I had to tap in, like you said, to the deep side, to the dark side, and you want a supernatural, here you go. I don't know.
That would be. I mean, that would be an interesting twist, and that's the best part about this, that we could have fun with these type of conversations because it's like we grown men speculating. Like usually we guys it all figured out. It's easy to figure out what direction you're going. Okay, I see where this is going. But the fact that we're here, like, oh, I don't know, where is this going to go? Facts. So they're doing their job.
Yeah. Well, anything else y'all got? No, it was a light week for me.
I think that was it. I mean, we hit all the main things. I like this. Like I said, it's a to be continued kind of week. So
we had fun because I always enjoy talking wrestling with my brothers, but I definitely had fun talking about the content we was creating the past summer. I mean, this is like the best summer since 2011, 2012.
It's giving off anniversary vibes. Yeah, we're getting a lot done. Like this is the most we've been able to get done, like back to back to back to back to back. Usually there was gaps in between projects, gaps in between releases, gaps in between things. But this is like you look up at the brand and it's like, man, we've been firing on all cylinders.
We've been outside, yo.
It was the first time we've really been like been able to do stuff. Like, and I don't mean like do things like whatever, just random.
No, because like this is what we used to do in 2012 when we was going to ROH every month. you know. So it's like we kind of getting back to that just on different shows, you know, and you know, it's a lot of shows I want to hit this year. You know, got the Shamrock Cup coming up. You got what is it called? Outbreak with Pure Ignorance versus Takeover. So it's a lot of shows, you know, just getting to the grassroots, but also hitting, you know, everything, just being out there. It's so much fun. You know, everybody know when the Realm show up, it's a party.
Absolutely.
You know, we're gonna go out there, we're gonna have fun. We ain't gonna take ourselves too seriously.
No,
you know, and when they put the music on, the realness gonna cut a rug.
There it is. That's exactly what I was about to say.
I'm gonna dance. I'm gonna cut a rug.
But any final thoughts, gentlemen?
I'll tell you a final thought. I'm just watching Tommaso Ciampa come out at the end of this match and just hit Johnny Gargano in the back of his head with a crush and just stare at him. That's what we need. That's my final thought.
Oh man, Hugh.
I'm watching Daniel Bryan cash in on the Big Show. Man, what was up with that big?
We were there.
Bro? Yeah, we were.
We were there.
We were, man. Remember that big chair, that giant chair?
Yo, you right.
That goofy looking chair. Like, come on, man. But yeah. That was a great time right there, man. That it was pop. What? Oh my gosh.
That was one of those pay-per-views that it was probably okay on TV, but it was better if you were there. Like we saw Zack Ryder finally get that championship. You know, you remember he had been chasing that US championship for like a few months. What do we get? We got Kevin Nash versus Triple H. But it was like, it was a cool thing because it's like when you think of it, taken away from the story, right? Growing up as like NWO fans, and you know, if you was a Diesel fan, you can say, "Hey, I got to see Kevin Nash wrestle." You know what I mean?
Big time, especially in person. Don't like unless you were going to Florida to see him in TNA, the Silver Fox,
right? Booker T versus Cody Rhodes.
And
that
was a good one.
Yeah, right. And obviously, what was it? CM Punk, Miz, and I forgot who else. But yeah, you know, this because Del Rio, I think it was. You know, so yeah,
it might have been Del Rio, yeah.
But yeah, my final thoughts is, gentlemen, I definitely appreciate y'all, folks. Y'all appreciate everybody who tuned in. And if you're watching or you're catching the replay live, we appreciate it. We appreciate all the support. Make sure y'all catch a t-shirt. Get a t-shirt, buy it on WrestlingWrealm.com, subscribe to the Patreon, and see us in the road very soon. Catch y'all next week.
See y'all. Peace.
As I try. There it is.
Catch a t-shirt.
Water.